Hi boys and girls, it's Mrs. J. Thanks for joining me today for our new math lesson. You can probably see up on the paper it says triangles and parallelograms. So that's going to be our new teaching for this week. To complete, once this lesson's done and you've got a little bit more information, the two worksheets that go with this paper are 7.5 and 7.6. And they are both reteach papers. Now, I've sent these to you in an email. They're also in the framework if you want to just click on the framework and download and print them, or maybe you just need to bring them up and have them on your screen and you can do the work on a separate piece of paper. That's okay, but these are the two worksheets. So the first one has angles and triangles on it, and then the second one, oops, I pulled the wrong paper away. The second one is about parallelograms, and you might see some familiar shapes on there. We have talked this year a little bit about shapes, but we're just going to do a quick review lesson to go over them, and then I'll do an answer key worksheet for these two worksheets, so you can either do them first and then use them as answer keys, or if you want to do them with me, you know, kind of work along like how we do sometimes in school, you can do that too, okay? So, triangles and parallelograms. The first thing I want you to take a look at is you need to recognize the different kinds of angles. Now, we've talked about right angles before. Right angles, no matter which way they look, they kind of look like a capital L shape, and they are always equal to 90 degrees. Okay, so they kind of look like a perfect corner. We've done that a little bit. You can also have angles then that are smaller, that are less than 90 degrees, because this would kind of be like the 0 degree mark here, and as you kind of open up, this up here comes up to be 90 degrees. So these angles would be smaller. And this angle is actually called an acute angle. Any angle less than 90 degrees, that's the name of it. I know it sounds like it's a cute little angle, but it's actually one word, A-C-U-T-E, acute, and that means an angle less than 90 degrees. Once you get to 4th and 5th grade, you'll start using those math terms a little bit more. For right now in 3rd grade, we just want to compare to see if the angles are less than 90 or if they're greater than 90. Okay, so over here on the other side, you can see this angle is wider than, it's bigger, it's more open than 90 degrees. So the farthest it could go would be all the way laying down flat, and that would be a 180 degree angle. All right, so if you can envision where the 90 degrees would be straight up and down, okay, this arm has kind of opened up and it's gone past 90 degrees. This is called an obtuse angle. So you'll learn about that eventually too, once you get a little bit older. So once you know what kind of angle you have and whether it's 90 degrees or less than 90 or more than 90, you can classify triangles by the angle that it has. So you can see all of these angles, and you might have to turn your paper sometimes, are less than 90. Okay, this triangle has, and sometimes you might even see the little symbol, that means 90 degrees. That has that right in the corner. So this is, we would call this a right triangle. And this one over here, you can see that this big angle, as long as there's one angle that's more than 90, okay, so that angle is more than 90 degrees. That's an obtuse triangle. You can also classify triangles by the lengths of the sides. Sometimes they might all be equal. Sometimes there might be two sides that are equal in length. Sometimes all the sides might be a different length altogether. So you have to kind of look at the triangle first, and it goes over this a little bit on the worksheet that we'll do when we go over the answers, so you'll kind of be able to see it a little bit better. All right, so the last thing that I wanted to show you is classifying parallelograms. Now, we've talked about different kinds of shapes. We've talked about polygons, and a polygon is just an enclosed shape with any number of sides on a piece of paper. Polygons can be classified into different shapes based on the number of sides they have. For example, triangles have 3 sides, quadrilaterals have 4 sides, Pentagons have 5, hexagons have 6, octagons have 8. So we've talked about different shapes and maybe the special names that go with those shapes. A parallelogram is a special kind of quadrilateral. So these shapes all have 4 sides because they're quadrilaterals. But a parallelogram is a special quadrilateral because both pairs of the opposite sides are parallel. Remember, we've talked about parallel kind of being like railroad tracks, the ties in a railroad track. They go exactly next to each other, but they never touch, so they can either go this way or they can go this way. And then there's different things you can do to classify parallelograms. So first of all, I'm sure you recognize rectangle and square, all right? Because these all have in each corner, let's see if I can draw them, they have 4 right angles. And the difference is that a square, I'm pretty sure you know, has 4 equal length sides. And in a rectangle, the opposite sides are of equal length. Okay, that may be a little familiar to you since we've just been doing perimeter and area. I think you've seen that a lot with rectangles. Okay. A parallelogram and a rhombus are very similar, except these 2 shapes do not have right angles. Okay, so the rectangle and the square have right angles. A parallelogram and a rhombus, no right angles. Okay, so on your paper that we're going to go over in just a few minutes, so make sure you watch this video first and then go over it again. So you're going to need to know a right angle, angles that are less than 90, more than 90. We're going to look at the lengths of the sides of triangles. And then there's different categories of parallelograms. Remember, they're all quadrilaterals because they have 4 sides, but they either have right angles or they don't, or the sides are all equal in length, or the opposite sides are equal in length. So keep those things in mind. Make sure you have your 7.5 and your 7.6 worksheet ready to go. Have those out, and I will see you in just a few minutes.